So there's a new invention, an app, which apparently appeared in Germany, and as you can see, it scans products and it tries to detect if anything made out of insects is contained within the product. So it will say something like insected gefunden, like we found insects. And this app caused a massive controversy. Like, as you can see here, it's got 1 million views. It's still gathering traction. And there's people separated into two camps. On one camp is the people that are saying, well, like, this is really great. It informs the consumer. And on the other hand, you have the people that are like, oh my God, fact checkers. Fact checkers, have mercy. Save us from this atrocity that comes from Satan himself, the master of disinformation and the god of evil tongues that is whispering poison into the minds of the people. And those religious fanatics, if you look at them, most of them have various flags in their bio, the hammer and sickle. You kind of get the type of people that they are. And they're very vindictive about it, right? Like, they don't seem as if they want people to be informed. It's more like it is the role of the fact checker that keeps us safe from pressuring the ADL into censoring this information. Like, they don't want you to be educated. They want you not to be able to see this. Like this should be removed from your field of view. You should be oblivious that this thing even exists. So why is it that they're talking about the fact checkers? Well, it is true, right? Like, and I've been saying this on my channel for quite a while. And it's as this person is pointing out, insects have been used for quite a while in order to color food. Like many sweets and a lot of bakeries, they do contain caramic acid, which is actually a derivative from insects. Now, again, this app will look at this product and it will tell you that it contains insects, so there is no misinformation, but there is a lack of context. However, if someone was to like make a cricket paste and put it in a product, then it would get this app to say that, well, we actually found insects. But again, like, the thing is that it's not about trying to educate people. It's about forcing people to comply. Because this is what I've noticed. This is what upsets most individuals with the various paraphernalia and the hammer and sickle in the bio. You notice the same trend since COVID all the way up till now. And I just couldn't connect the dots until I finally realized what it is. As to me, it never made sense. How is it that during the pandemic, the television can tell people, you need to stay home, stay safe, if only we can save one life, you need to mask up, and everyone is complying, everyone is shaming anyone that's against this. And then literally the next day, no, you need to go out, protest, BLM, keep the businesses closed, but go out, protest. And everyone does that, and I'm like, well, hold on a little bit, like, aren't these contradictory messages? Like, why do they want the protesters to go out there in the plague? And then it's like, oh, if only we can save one life. To war, Ukraine, to war. And it's like, well, hold on. How do these people operate? Like how is it that there's like almost like a switch? And one day they tolerant and loving individual. The next day they're helpful, hateful, and bigoted. And finally, when you connect the dots, it makes sense. They want to obey. Like, they are angry at people who do not comply. So they have like their influencers, their mainstream media, and literally whatever the television tells them, they comply, they obey, and they hate anyone that doesn't comply and doesn't obey. So if the television is telling them, well, actually eating the crickets is good, even if you have a culture in the European Union about making absolutely sure that all the producers put the label on the box and that people are very informed with what they're purchasing and the consumer comes first, all of that goes out the window when you have an app that goes against eating the crickets. Because if you think about it, there are two types of people. And, I understand both of them, like, they exist, but you got the type of person that goes to the supermarket and just buys what they like. So they have their shopping cart and they just put into the shopping cart whatever they want, and it's fine. That's one way to do it. And then you have a different type of people that actually pick up the product, they look at the label, they look at the expiration date, they look at what's in it, and that's also fine. I mean, that's literally the reason God gave the label. Right? Like the European Union, the Holy Parliament, through their infinite wisdom of the lawmakers, they put the fucking label there. Well, actually, they passed the law so that the label is there for people to read it. But for some reason, if you're using an app to read it, then all of a sudden it's bad. And by the way, like, there are so many people that read the label in order to see, oh, well, we don't want any additives. We don't want any carcinogenic, potentially carcinogenic ease, right? Like, they look at all of these things and they're making their purchases based on that. No one cares, or someone follows some diet, they're following Atkins diet and they're following other things and they're looking, oh, does this have gluten? Does it have any gluten? No one cares. But the fucking moment you scan for the insects, Twitter loses its shit. And they're like, oh, fact checkers. It's almost like the fact checkers are the clergy, right? Like priesthood, start sending your prayers. The Pope needs to send a circular letter to all the Christian nations to start banning this hedonistic app. It's so funny because you look at the mainstream media, and almost everyone thinks that eating the bugs is amazing, and they have the thumbnails. They don't even have the crickets made in a paste. Like, they show you the living bug go into their mouth. I'm pretty sure you read The Guardian or BBC or the other publications, and everyone is agreeing. All of a sudden, everyone is like, yes, eating the bugs is the correct thing to do. You don't have a single mainstream media that disagrees. Very weird how that happens, doesn't it? My favorite take is they will say, oh, it's because the West is bigoted in its way, and they're trying to shame you because they associate bugs with uncleanliness, but there are many cultures out there in the world, pure, righteous cultures that eat the bugs. And the thing is like this. My grandmother comes from Bessarabia. And in Bessarabia, they benefited from communism. And with communism came starvation. So you had the Red Army going into people's villages, taking all the animals, taking all the grain, then surrounding the village and shooting anyone that tried to leave. And when that happens, people start eating everything. When that happens, people start eating dogs, people start eating cats. Eventually, they start eating the fucking crickets. So it's not that people throughout history do not know how it's like to eat the insects. Many cultures have ate the insects. Even the Chinese have ate the insects during the Great Leap Forward. Many people who benefited from communism and socialist practices at one point started eating the insects because the human body tries to survive. However, once communism goes away, unfortunately, as it sometimes does, and the famine goes away with it, people stop eating the bugs. I wonder why that is. Right? Because the ideology that comes from the elite is that, no, you just don't understand. The bugs are insanely good. They're amazingly good. You just don't know what you're missing out. And it's like, okay, but it does seem that in the past people have tried it. And out of necessity, and if it was so good as you're claiming, why aren't they still doing it now? I mean, they tried eating other things that normally people wouldn't eat, like, for instance, lobsters, right? Like, people ate lobsters. I personally don't like them, but, they tried it. And after a while, they realized, well, okay, we'll still eat it today because it's good, right? It's not like human beings haven't tried eating various sort of shit. But usually that if people do not eat it, then maybe it's not good. And of course, there's also medical arguments, like for instance, bugs contain a substance known as chitin. And some people may be allergic to it, we don't know. But we'll see. Still, I don't have anything against this app. I wish it would add a little bit of context and point out, hey, like you've been eating this for quite a while, so just because it contains this doesn't mean that it's unhealthy, like it's been tried for so many years, it's fine. But like other things that might exist in the food that don't tell you, it's like, yeah, people should be informed. Again, I myself have no problem eating this. I don't care if it has insects. And I'm pretty sure I would even try the cricket burger. But so far as I understand, in Germany, the cricket burger is more expensive and it doesn't taste that good. This is what I've been told. I don't know. I haven't been there. But, yeah. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.